Hi everyone, I'm Allison Rothman, and I'm going to guide you through using the question formulation technique. This is a group activity with several different steps that we're going to follow. When I introduce this activity with students, I ask them what they're good at or what talent they might have. And this opener is also very effective with adults because regardless of if participants answer soccer or cooking or Fortnite, all of them respond similarly when I say the next question. How did you get so good at it? How do you get better at it? Because everyone always says practice, adults and students, both of them. And this is a perfect transition for us into the QFT because I'll then say to students, who asks questions in your classroom? It's always the teachers and the adults in their opinion. They rarely find that they have reasons or encouragements to ask academic questions to support their work. And so when I say to them, if you want to be good at asking questions or develop strong and powerful questions to support project-based learning or your research project or just your independent learning, how do you get better at those questions? And again, they echo practice. So let's practice. The question formulation technique is a process by which teachers can support students in asking and generating questions, producing questions, and it's not just for one subject. It's for any subject matter, any content area. It can be used again and again across grade levels and age groups. The same group of students can use the QFT many times and across many different applications within the same semester. So let's get moving. The QFT has a set of rules, so please read these rules yourself right now on the screen. You'll see that there's also a graphic representation of these rules. You have links to both of these for your future use as well later in the decks. When I work with students or adults and I do this activity, I ask them to consider, what do you think would be difficult about following these rules that you see? Which of these might be the most challenging for you to keep to? And another important question to ask is, if someone in your group breaks one of these rules, how might you redirect them? And how might you as a group act? Okay, so this is the Q focus, or our question focus. Students use technology for important purposes that support learning. In a classroom setting, you would have a different Q focus. This is the changing element of this process. Today, for our activity, this is your Q focus. And what that means is that for our purposes, this is our guiding statement. All questions that you and your group formulate will be inspired and prompted by this Q focus statement. The Q focus will remain open and on the screen as you work. Now, we're about to start the QFT, and I want to review the process with you. First, you'll need a note taker. This person will record all questions exactly as spoken by the participants and number each question. The table members will follow the rules and use the Q focus. Everyone in the group will ask as many questions as possible, and each of you will contribute questions. This activity will take about 8 minutes, and in real life, I will actually give a 1-minute warning and stop the group. You're going to be on your own at this point, and you're going to work for 8 minutes and then come back to the recording. Now, before I begin with students, this lesson can and should involve language objectives. So with students, I might say, what words do you use that help start a question? This list that you see here is pretty common for them to report. And so I might then frame it and saying, okay, our language objectives today are to practice using the words who, what, when, where, why, and how to ask questions. For students that might be uncomfortable for the first time, I might say, if you get stuck generating questions during this activity, think of these words and start by speaking one of them and then see what happens when you generate the question. So here's our Q focus again. It will remain up on the screen. And you're going to have approximately 8 minutes to work on this Q focus and to follow the activity directions that were on the previous slide. I could ask you to pause your recording here, although this is the end of our first part 1 of our recording. When you complete this part in 8 minutes by generating your list and producing your list of questions, you're going to continue on to the recording part 2.